Parshas Ki Savo. Parshas Ki Savo, amongst the many things that are entailed in it and included in it, has our second Toichacha. Rav Yoshe ben Soloveitchik, from whom I had the chus to hear the shir, discussed Parshas Ki Savo by mentioning and discussing at great length a halacha in the Rambam. Rav Yoshe was famous for giving Rambam shiurim on Gemara and on Chumash and everything else. The halacha in the Rambam is, and it's brought down the halacha, and you can look it up, is one allowed to make a haisafa in the toichacha? And he paskins la halacha that you can make a haisafa in the toichacha in Ki Savo, but you cannot make a haisafa in the toichacha of bechukosai. And the question, of course, is why? It would seem to us, Balabatish, that one would not want to make a haisafa in the middle of toichacha because it's hard enough to get one person to stand up to be an aliyah for the toichacha. Usually the Balkori is. But aside from that practical question, what is the difference la halacha between the toichacha and bechukosai and the toichacha in Ki Savo? Now we know that Sefer Devarim is called Mishnah Torah, and these are the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. And this was a tremendous yesod that Rav Yoshe Ber brought out at this shir. He said when Moshe Rabbeinu was teaching over and saying the entire Sefer of Devarim from beginning to the end, Moshe Rabbeinu himself became shtik Torah. He became part of the Torah. This Mishnah Torah is Moshe Rabbeinu becoming part of the Torah. However, the first four sforim of the Torah were related to us by Hashem. Moshe wrote it down, but they are the words of Hashem. Sefer Devarim are the words of Moshe. And he brings down an interesting chap on the Rambam. When Hashem is talking, you don't say, excuse me, I want to make a haisafa. Excuse me, I have to go do something. You don't interrupt Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu was Moshe Rabbeinu, a human being, so we can make an interruption. And that is one very, very small knetch as to the difference between the Toichacha in Bechukosai and the Toichacha in Ki Savo. Moshe Rabbeinu is talking, and you can tell the difference. In fact, he brought this down in the shir. All of the verbs in Bechukosai are in first person. I will do this and I will do that. That's a Kadosh Baruch Hu talking. In Ki Savo, Moshe Rabbeinu is saying Hashem will do this and Hashem will do that as third person. So you can see right from the format, from the style of the syntax of the parsha, that is correct. What he's saying is true. What he's saying is true. Another small nafkamina, which was not halacha as far as this is concerned, is that the nechama after Bechukosai is right immediately in the parsha. The nechama after Ki Savo is next week's parsha. Tzavim Vayelech, it comes way, way later. And from this he said that's an intimation that Bechukosai, Toichacha, referred to Churban Bayis Rishon, and the Toichacha in Ki Savo is a Churban Bayis Sheni. We know that the Golus after Bayis Rishon was just a number of years, 70 years. A number of years. They came back within one generation or two. And we are still in the Golus after Ki Savo, thousands of years. The Nechama is coming way, way, way delayed. And we see this bepoil, that this is how it came out. In the Toichacha, in Bechukosai, there's a slight pause, and Moshe Rabbeinu tells us, Uvo alecha kol haklalos ha'eleh, tachas yesholo ovadas Hashem elokecha b'simcha uvetuv levav. This our failure to serve Hashem with simcha, that will bring the klalos upon us. How do we serve Hashem with simcha? And what happens if we can't serve Hashem in simcha? People are eis sora, they can't be b'simcha. The answer is that serving Hashem is simcha, not a simcha that we are experiencing when we perform mitzvahs. It is the feeling of hakaras hatov, of gratitude, that no matter what situation we are in, we can always find a way to serve the Ratzon Hashem. That's the simcha. No matter what we're in, no matter what happens to us, good or bad, we can serve Hashem. And this is a great story illustrating that in any circumstance we can find a way to serve Hashem. One of the many cruel regimes that imprisoned Jews for practicing a religion. The story that I got was from Rebbe Zish and Rebbe Elimelech. These were the two Rabbanim. He doesn't mention it by name in there where I'm reading it from, which is a little of a short word for Sefer. He threw the two brothers into prison. They were thrown into a room which was small, it was dark, and only one other thing was in there. A basket of waste, still full from the previous tenants. That was their company. At sight of this prison cell, Reb Zisha started to cry. I'm not crying because we're in jail. I know that Hashem sent us here, and Hashgacha Pratis said we belong here for whatever the reason Hashem gave it to us. That is for the best. I'm crying because I didn't have mincha yet. I had this smelly bucket of waste here. I cannot daven with such a situation. I can't serve Hashem if I can't daven. So Rabbi Elimelech said to him and smiled and said, just as you serve Hashem by doing your will and davening mincha every day, so too you are now doing his Ratzon Hashem by not davening, because that's the halacha. You are serving Hashem in exactly the same way now that you cannot daven as you do when you do daven. After hearing this from the Rebbe who had not yet davened, he jumped up with tears of joy. He grabbed his hands. Together they sang and danced around the bucket of waste, ecstatic at the thought of serving Hashem according to the Ratzon of Hashem. Hearing all this commotion, the prison guards came running in, saw this bizarre scene of these two prominent rabbis dancing around a bucket of waste. They didn't want them to have fun. Not wanting them to have any kind of pleasure at all, they stormed the prison cell and removed the bucket, delighted at having deprived the Rebbes of their source of joy. As soon as the guards left, the Rebbe who had not yet davened turns towards the east and started davening mincha, again delighted to serve Hashem in that best possible way. That is such a delightful story. I'm glad I could share that with you, and have a wonderful Good Shabbos.